All right, we gotta talk about a thing. So, so before I say this, I know there's no matter what I say, some people are just gonna not listen and then accuse me of things that aren't true. But I do need to say it at the start, so that I can at least get ahead of it. I don't hate domination. I don't hate conquest mode. I think it's good for the game. I am glad it got implemented. I know some of the people who worked on it. Like I hang out with them in voice chat from time to time. They're very cool people. I'm so glad that all their hard work on the capture point mod got listened to by CA and they got added to the game. That's really fucking sweet. I'm glad it's in the game. I don't wish anything ill upon it. I think Conquest looks fun. The point of this, to say that Conquest is not going to replace land battles, is more to address the comments I see around, especially as soon as this got announced, and the unfortunate choice by CA to replace land battles by Conquest in their ladder. It was in their patch notes. It's not going to replace land battles. It's a different game mode. It's its own thing. And yes, it is literally going to replace them on the quick battle ladder, but I meant like in the zeitgeist. Land battles aren't going away. And I hate these comments that it's like, it's just land battles, but better, or like, land battles is dead now, or whatever. It's like, no, this is a separate game mode. It does its own things. It's good at its own things. It doesn't have to replace anything. And I guess that's what I want to talk about this video. So, just getting ahead of that before I start talking about any of this stuff. No, I don't hate land battles. Sorry. Of course I don't hate land battles. No, I don't hate Conquest. I think it's cool. I'm trying to say that it's not going to get rid of land battles or anything. So what was the point of having you watch that replay at ×3 speed? It was to show you how long it takes to get 500 points. I got them at 9 minutes, 45 seconds. The fastest you can capture a point, which is what I just did there. Fastest you can capture a point and win the game is 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Let's round it up for this conversation and say 10 minutes. It puts a 10-minute timer on the game if you are uncontested taking the point. Now, why do I bother bringing that up? It's just like land battles. No, it's not, for a lot of reasons, and the meta is going to be different. And how the meta is different is that timer. Time deters a lot of tactics. Like, the concept of time, if you have no agency on the map agency is very important in land battles. If you have no agency, if you have a blob, like a hero hammer, or you see this one in front of you, this Festus heal blob of Chosen and Heavy Armor and Chaos Warriors, right? If you have this blob and the capture point didn't exist, and you can't catch any of the Wood Elf archers or anything, and they had spells to punish you like Flock of Doom or Spirit Leech or something like that, they could run you around the map all day long, shooting at you for free, not taking any counter damage while they Spirit Leech off Festus, pick him off, and then without the healing, pick off the Severed Claw, shoot the Chaos Warriors from behind, surround the Chaos Warriors so their shields can only be facing one direction, then shoot them in the back, because there's nothing the Warriors of Chaos can do about it with this build. There's no agency. It's why you don't usually see builds like this in land battles. Is this going to be a common build in Conquest? Probably not, but it is a viable one. Take a bunch of heavy armor, a bunch of heavy infantry, walk at the point, and put your opponent on the clock. Do they have enough shooting to kill you in 9 minutes, 45 seconds? If yes, you lose. If no, which they probably didn't take 12 armor-piercing ranged, if no, and they have any melee units, then you'll win by sitting on the points and they have to feed themselves into the grinder. So it makes strategies, this isn't a bad thing, but it makes strategies that aren't viable in one game mode, land battles, viable in Conquest. That's a different meta. Now, I did mention a pretty negative connotation with that one. That example is negative. Like, I don't think a reasonable amount of people would consider a heal armor blob fun. But I'm just saying it is a tactic that is much more viable in Conquest than it would be in land battles, right? Dwarven formations could just make their camp on this while they try to get kited by high elves or wood elves or maybe even Tzeentch. They just sit here. Now, to some people, that would be a positive, right? I'm not trying to just say this is a negative. Some people are like, dude, I hate fucking getting kited. I hate getting kited by Tzeentch. I hate all that stuff. That sounds great. Put a 10-minute timer on the game. Yeah, that is great. That's awesome. But it's a different game mode. So the concept of time limits blob play in a lot of instances. And for examples, I would go to, you might be like, well, blobs are strong in land battles. If that were true, why do none of our tournament finals have blobs? Like, they just don't. And it's because high level players never want to give up agency. High level blobs punish mistakes. If you can't do the correct inputs, take the correct engagements, time your cycle charging correctly, use your ammo effectively, use your spells effectively, have a strong enough build to kill the blob effectively, then a blob will win. But at high levels of land battle play, the opponents know their opponent is going to have a functioning build. Their opponent's going to know what engagements to take. Their opponent's going to know how to cycle charge. Their opponent's going to know how to use that ammunition. Their opponent's just going to be good enough to beat the blob. So it doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The blob's going to lose. That's why you never see it at high levels of tournament play. Like the finals or something. Like Alfredino between Berserk, there's never going to be a blob there. It's just not going to happen. Right. On Conquest, that could be a viable strategy because there's a timer. Right. The other thing about Conquest that does make the meta different is infantry are going to be stronger, Hero Hammer is going to be stronger, and it is because of that timer. But it's because the timer forces you to engage them in melee, which you can actually just bet on having a better melee force than your opponent and trying to win that way. Ranged has its place. Artillery has its place. It'll do some damage if you just melee blob. But like, single entity Hero Hammer will be pretty strong against factions that don't have Traderkin, Final Transmutation, or those AoE single entity damaging spells. Healing will also be very strong for anybody who's trying to blob on the point. And generally, also at high levels of play, you don't see Hero Hammer a ton. Like, you just don't really. And if you do see it, it doesn't usually win because they just get cycle charged. But it takes a long time. So strategies that in land battles take a long time to defeat but have a low win rate, in Conquest, taking a long time to defeat can be a good thing. Like, it can win you games, right? So the meta is going to be different for Conquest. And the meta's not figured out yet because it's a brand new game mode. But again, I don't think that's bad. I think Hero Hammer is going to be stronger on Conquest. I think Infantry Push is going to be stronger on Conquest. I think Kite is going to be weaker on Conquest. And I think boxing, defensive boxing, is probably going to be weaker on Conquest because you have to move your box into position, which is just going to cause you some issues. So there's positives and negatives to that. Again, I'm not trying to just shit on this game mode. It's like some people hate Kite, some people hate boxes. Conquest will be positives for that. Some people hate blobs, some people hate Infantry Push. Conquest is going to be worse for that. And it's like, it's just a different game. And I don't really like all these comments I keep seeing from people that are like, oh, Land Battles is dead now, or like, they did it, they made the perfect game mode, or like, this is the future of Total War and all this shit. It's, bro, calm the fuck down. Like, it's just a game mode. It's just a fun, cool game mode made by the community. But it doesn't have to be this big thing, right? It doesn't have to replace anything. Nothing has to replace anything, right? Domination didn't fucking replace land battles, and that was a whole heap of drama if you were in like the deep parts of the community where it's like, dude, land battle's fucking dead. You can't play it anymore. Domination's the future, brother. And then like, Dom was fine. It was whatever. And then some people came back to land battles. Some people just left the scene entirely, and it's like, okay, I don't know why this had to be a whole deal. And I see it starting to pop up with the Conquest too, and I'm just trying to like cut it off. It's like, just stop. Just enjoy things, okay? It doesn't have to be a conquest, a contest, but I say Conquest. It doesn't have to be a contest. Just enjoy it, you know? Some of the land battle content creators are making content on Conquest. That's fine. That's chill. Doesn't mean land battles is fucking dead. It's pisses me off. Anyway, no, land battles isn't dying. We just got a cool new game mode. It's gonna be some fun. Hop in the game, have some fun, have a good time, play what you want to play, right? It's not dying. I honestly don't know if CA will follow through on that threat about like, oh, we're gonna replace land battles with Conquest on the quick battle ladder. I don't know if they'll do that. Because land battles is still how you play campaign. So I don't see their player base going for that. I don't see their player base losing a game mode. Whatever. There. This rant is over. And some of you are going to be like, what was the point of that? It might have just been something to get off my chest. Maybe 10% of you needed to hear that. And for those 10%, cool. maybe this was cathartic for you. For the other 90%, I guess this is just an L video for you, and that's, you know, it is what it is. Every other video I make will probably be more your jam, but sometimes I just gotta make content for me. Farm that YouTube drama. Get all the clicks for the people that are like, what? Land Battles is dead. Fuck this guy. Or no, Land Battle's not dead. He's a savior. Or people like, ooh, a drama, a community drama. Let me get in here. Because drama equals quick clicks. That's what we're doing now. Farm that drama. But anyway. And before I get like 6 more DMs, no, I'm not switching to Conquest. I'm still going to be a Land Battle streamer most of the time. I recorded a couple Conquest replays because they were good games. That's really long and short of it. They were good games, so I cast them. They were fun. It was a good time. Most of my tournaments will still be Land Battles. My Vermin League ladder will still be Land Battles, just because I like Land Battles. That's about it. Some of my friends are hosting some Conquest tournaments. You should join those. They're good lads. Tequila Sunset, Tactical Lich, 2 wonderful human beings. Join their tournaments. Subscribe to their channels. But yeah, I'll still be doing mostly Land Battle stuff. Okay. Roar. Subscribe, yes.